This is Greg Vincent with AgWeb. I'm talking to Mark Lambert, who is the Coalition Director for the Corn Farmers Coalition and Senior Communications Manager at the National Corn Growers Association. Mark, you're just getting ready to undertake a pretty significant promotion activity in our nation's capital. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Well, the Corn Farmers Coalition is going to be launching a major advertising campaign in Washington. It may very well be the largest campaign that NCGA has ever done, and I know it's the largest one of this kind that we've ever done. It is an education-oriented campaign for decision makers in D.C., for congressional staffers, folks from environmental groups, think tanks, anybody that's part of that discussion in Washington that's affecting policy. We're not discussing any particular policy. We're just trying to put positive messages out there to reinforce what modern agriculture is like, who is farming, how they're farming, and the improvements in the industry. Technology and innovation, as you know, in the industry has been phenomenal in the last 10 years, especially yield gains, the way that we're applying fertilizer, the introduction of new seed technology, that's changing the way we look at the agricultural world. So these are things that people need to know, that consumers and decision makers alike.
Is this only an NCGA activity, or who is the Corn Farmers Coalition?
The coalition is actually being funded by 14 of the Corn Growers Association states. It's coming from checkoff dollars, as well as the National Corn Growers Association. So these are all corn farmer dollars. Basically, what has happened is the corn states saw a need to do this, and above and beyond their normal commitments to NCGA, they've come up with additional dollars to do this positive messaging and education program in Washington. So it's pretty exciting that they're tackling this market and this particular, what we see as a problem in the nation's capital.
Now, is it only the ads? We'll have them on AgWeb. You can see them on the cornfarmerscoalition.org website as well. But is it only the ads, or are there other activities involved in this?
Well, they're going to be print ads in all the major Hill publications that are read by people out there, like The Hill and Politico, Congressional Quarterly. Will also be on their websites, because so many of the people today read them electronically. So we're going to have flash ads on the websites. Going to have large-scale advertising, which is something very new for us, in the airport in D.C., as well as throughout the metro system. In fact, in June, every piece of advertising in Union Station will be Corn Farmers Coalition ads, and that's a lot of ads. In July, we will be in Capitol South Metro Station, and that also is going to be every ad in the facility. So it's going to be hard to miss us. Also doing some radio in the market. We're going to be in the home game programs for the Washington Nationals baseball team. So it's going to be saturation for all intent.
Why is it so important to communicate with these staffers?
Well, the staffers have a lot to do with what gets in front of congressmen and senators, and even though some of the congressmen may understand agriculture, but these staffers may come from a non-ag state, or from a non-corn state specifically. So we want to make sure that they understand that something as basic as family farmers still exist. We did focus groups in Washington, and this is what alarmed us, and found out that they have very, very warm feelings about family farmers and hold them in high esteem, yet they think almost none of them exist anymore. So that's one of our ads. We're explaining that 90% of the corn grown in this country still comes from family farmers. And we're featuring those farmers' faces in the ads on the website, so people get that association burned into their brain. We don't want them to think that we don't exist. It's important they know we're here and who they're affecting when they make decisions.
Now, is this going to raise any red flags from a checkoff standpoint? Because you mentioned checkoff funds is supporting this program, and is this a policy program, or is this raise any concerns about the checkoff?
Well, it is largely funded by checkoff dollars, but it is pure education. In fact, each of the messages in the ads, what they are is we're showcasing a fact that came from USDA or is blended with some information that we got from the Environmental Protection Agency. So these are their own numbers. All we're doing is putting them on public display in a meaningful way.
What kind of investment is the U.S. corn farmer making in this program?
Well, for much of your audience, I can describe that in a way that will make a lot of sense. This campaign is going to cost us about 250,000 bushels of corn. So at this point, people in your audience are probably going, "Ouch!" That's about $1 million.
Okay.
So it's in advertising circles in a major urban market, something in the manner that we're doing, that's, it's not a huge amount of dollars, but for, corn farmers that could be using those dollars to build markets and, do research, things that, that are very, very important to them, it's a lot of money.
But over the 30 days in June, when you mentioned 60,000 people a day just go through Union Station alone, I mean, what kind of cost per impression on a individual are you going to be getting there?
Exactly. We are anticipating this campaign will have probably over 10 million impressions in that very important location that affects farmers' lives.
All right, that's Mark Lambert. He's the Coalition Director for the Corn Farmers Coalition and Senior Communications Manager at the National Corn Growers Association. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Appreciate it. Thank you.